Many years ago, in the beautiful city of Lagos, there lived two young ladies named Zainab and Shadi. They were both very beautiful, smart and hardworking. They were also best friends, but their lives were not as similar as they seemed. Zainab was a soft-spoken Hausa young lady from Kano, and she worked as a secretary in a small firm. She was always stuck in traffic and spent most of her time shuffling between her office and her home. But her salary was just enough to survive. It was nothing to write home about. It was not enough to live the kind of baby girl soft life that she wanted to live. But her friend Shadi, on the other hand, was a vibrant Yoruba woman. She was from Ibadan. She was loud, fearless, and bold. As a matter of fact, she ran a big electronic shop at Alaba International Market and lived in a three-bedroom flat in Festac. She had a car, she dressed well, and traveled in and out of the country as she liked. And to outsiders, Shade looked like she had made all her money through her hustle and sweat. But only a few people knew the real story, the real gist. Shade was not just a businesswoman, no. She was also a high-class runs girl. Shade did not even sleep with small boys. Instead, she moved with big men, senators, governors, oil tycoons, people that would pay her in millions just for one weekend. So just in a few years of doing this her runs girl business, she had gathered a lot of money to start up a legit business. Her electronic shop in Alaba was not her main source of income. Oh. It was just a cover-up, a front to make her look like a responsible woman. Even her best friend Zainab did not even know that Shade was a high-class runs babe. And not just that, too, but Shade was also protected by her mother. Her mother was a powerful herbalist known across Ibadan and beyond. Before Shade opened her shop, her mother had come and done strong spiritual fortification for her. She even gave her charms for protection and buried things in front of her shop to attract customers and chase evil eyes away. So anytime Zainab spoke to Shade about wanting to start up a business and be wealthy just like her, Shade would simply respond and say, this Alaba market is a spiritual place, so it's a war zone, no. I'm talking from personal experience, so Shade would say to Zainab, but Zainab did not care. The only thing that she saw was that her friend was a successful woman that had made it through hustle and smartness. And deep down, she also wanted the same for herself. She was tired of collecting peanuts as salary. So each time she and her friend Shade hung out, Zainab would smile with Shade, laugh and gist with her. But inside her, she was jealous of her. She was counting all the things that Shade had that she did not have. Zainab would say aloud to herself, I'm even more educated than my friend. I went to school. I work in an office. But I cannot even afford a car. What kind of life is this one? There's one that is in the market selling electronics. He's so rich and wealthy. Zainab would say aloud, looking very jealous. Zainab always complained non-stop to her friend Shadi that she wanted to leave her office and start a business just like her. So one Saturday, as she hung out with her friend, they sat together eating pepper soup. Then Zainab looked at Shadi and said, Shadi, me, I have made up my mind though. Me, I'm going to resign from my job. I want to start a business. I want to be rich like you. You do you have two heads? Zainab said. Then Shadi replied, looking shocked and said, business, you. It's not everybody that must do business. Now, business is not for everybody. Oh. Besides, what kind of business do you even want to do? Shadi replied. Then Zainab looked at her and said, the same type that you're doing now. If you can do it, me too I can do it. I want to do electronics business. I want to open a shop in Alaba just like you. And be rich like you. And be flying to Dubai like you. Me too. I like good things now. Zainab replied. Then Shade stared at her friend passionately and said, Zainab, are you sure? You know that this market is not for small girls, so market is not about opening shop and buying goods, so that place is a war zone. Oh. It is very spiritual. For you to be successful in a market, not to talk of Alaba International Market, Omo, you have to have an altar. Oh. There must be something speaking for you in the spirit realm. Shade said firmly. But Zainab simply dismissed it and said, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Shade, I have mouth. I can pray. As long as I pray and show up every day, I'm diligent and consistent, I have good goods that are original, Omo, I will sell and I'll be successful like you. Nothing will happen. Zainab replied firmly. So Shade just simply smiled and said, no wahala, but I will not lie to you, Zainab. My own business that you're seeing that is successful like that is not ordinary. Oh. It is not ordinary. Before me, I entered that market. My mother, you know her now, she's a renowned herbalist in the whole of Ibadan. She did very strong protection for me. You see, all these traders here, they have tried several things for me, but it did not work because my mother has a protective charm that is working for me. This market is full of wickedness. Oh. People bury things. They even pour blood. They do things to block other people's shop from getting customers. That is why I'm telling you that this market is not for small girls. So don't jump into this market unless you are ready to do what other people are doing. No, Shade said. But Zainab simply smiled softly and said, thank you for being honest with me. But as you see me like this, I have already made up my mind. As a matter of fact, I've already rented a shop and bought goods. What is waiting is just a physical manifestation. I have saved enough money. I am tired of working from 9 to 5. I want to be a businesswoman just like you. Zainab replied. Shade stared at her, looking very worried, and then said, Zainab, shall just be careful. Oh. Just so you know, not every open door is from God. That a door is open does not mean you should walk through it. Shade said to her friend, but Zainab's mind was made up. She was starting a business and that was final. Nobody was going to talk her out of becoming a millionaire by starting a business. So that night, Zainab sat on her bed, staring at the ceiling. She could not sleep. She was so excited, like a child who was expecting Christmas dresses from their mother. So by this time next year, I will be the one flying to Dubai, Europe, Italy. I'll be buying all these Italian things. My level don't change. Oh, Zainab said, daydreaming of all the things she was going to do with the money when she finally became successful in her business. But what Zainab did not know was that she was walking right into fire. So the next day, Zainab went to her office and resigned. She left her company quietly. No notice, no farewell party, nothing at all. She just simply handed her resignation letter, collected her severance pay, and walked away without looking back. And by the end of the week, Zainab had gathered every single thing that she had. Her pension, her savings, and all the money that she had. She counted it all carefully. It was 6.7 million naira. She was so excited. This is my freedom money. I am finally free. Zainab stared at her money excitedly. So without even telling Shade, her friend, because she felt that Shade was going to discourage her, Zainab went ahead and rented a small shop inside Alaba International Market. It was not as big or fine as Shade's own, but she did not mind. It was decent enough. Then she went ahead and stocked up her shop with electronics from fans to blenders, rechargeable lamps, home speakers, every single thing you could think of. She arranged them beautifully and named her shop Z World Electronics, quality that you can trust. So on the very first day, Zainab dressed up very beautifully and she carried a Bluetooth speaker and was playing soft gospel music at the entrance to give her shop that peaceful and inviting vibe. Everyone could hear songs like, Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh. She was just excited. She sat at the front and waited for her customers. A few hours later, and yet no one was coming to her shop to patronize her. Then about 3 hours later, a young man walked to her shop, staring at her fan that was on display. Oga, good afternoon. No. Welcome. See, we get better, strong, correct standing fan for you. Auntie, I go sell am better for you. I will give you for promo price with plenty discount join am. Zainab said very cheerfully, but the guy just stared at her fan. He didn't even respond and he kept on walking. What is happening? Zainab said. But she decided that she was not going to give up so easily. So she waited outside, waiting for more customers. Then just a few minutes after that, she saw another woman walking by. Then she called out to her, auntie, good afternoon. Oh, I get small rechargeable blender. Where you go like? Na sharp product though. It dey last wella. Zainab said excitedly. But the woman just stared at her, gave her a tight smile, and then turned into the next shop and bought the same thing that Zainab was advertising. At this point, Zainab was confused. Meanwhile, in the shop just next to her, people were rushing the woman, trying to buy every single thing that she was selling. Zainab watched in frustration. She wondered why everyone was buying from the woman and no one was buying from her. Then she consoled herself and said, maybe today is just my first day now. It will get better. People don't know me. I'm sure these people, they are loyal to her. So I'm sure with time, they will start buying from me. Zainab said, trying to motivate herself. But it was not just that day, because day after day for the next 5 months, customers would come into the market in their numbers, but no one would stop at her shop. As a matter of fact, they'll be passing her shop like though the shop was not even in existence. Some would even stand right in front of her shop, stare at her goods, then walk 2 steps to the next shop to buy the exact same product, sometimes for even more money than she sold. It made no sense to Zainab. One Friday afternoon, and it was raining heavily. Zainab was excited, thinking that now that it was raining, some people would run into her shop for shelter. And most likely, if they run into her shop for shelter, then they would buy something from her. But to her uttermost shock, these same customers were rushing from the rain into nearby shops for shelter. None of these customers came into her shop. In short, her neighbor's shop were filled, yet people even stood in the walkway. But not one person could enter her shop. It was as though they were not even seeing the shop. Zainab stood up. She even tried to act warm. Oh, please come inside, there's space in my shop, she said, opening her door wide. But no one entered. Not even one person looked in her direction. What is happening? She stood there for minutes, yet no response. She just sat down back slowly. What is happening to me? Is it me? Am I looking scary? They don't like my face. I'm not fine enough. Is it my shop? Is my shop ugly? What is wrong? Zainab said to herself, but there was no answer. So when the rain stopped, she just gently packed her kaya, her load, her speaker, and just locked up and left for home. She was done for the day. She had tried. So as she walked out of the market that evening, she passed lots of shops with people, buying and selling. She heard the sounds of POS machine beeping non-stop. At that point, she didn't know when she began to cry. See every other person's shop filled to the brim, but her own shop, her dream, Z World Electronics, was turning into a ghost town day by day. She did not want to believe it yet. But she was beginning to realize that maybe Sade was right. Maybe there was more to opening a shop than actually renting a shop and stocking it with goods. So things continued like this for a while. It was over 6 months since Zainab opened her shop at Alaba International Market. And yet, nothing had changed. She had not made one sale. Every morning, she had the same routine. She would wake up in the morning by 5 a.m. She would pray, take her bath, dress up in clean clothes, and, head to the market. She would go to her shop, sweep it, and make it look beautiful and neat, and sit with hopeful eyes, waiting for just one customer. But yet again, no one showed up. Zainab was tired and frustrated. At night, she would stay awake, crying and thinking, God, did I make a mistake? I gave up my job, my pension, I put all my money, even my ajo, my contribution into this business. Yet I'm not getting any sales. Nothing is happening. What is happening to me? Zainab said as she cried. And to make matters worse, Zainab could not even tell Shade, her friend, because pride would not let her. She did not even tell Shade that she had started a business, even though Shade knew. But since she did not tell her, Shade decided to keep quiet about it. So every day, Zainab would just sit down in her quiet shop. No customers, no sales, no hope. So one early morning, she decided to go there and pray very early. She remembered all that Shade had warned her about the market. So she decided to take things spiritually. She arrived before 6 a.m. But to her greatest shock, there were people also there. As a matter of fact, she saw a man and woman dressed in white clothes with a goat doing some incantations or ritual. The woman was chanting in Yoruba, and even at some point, she began to speak to the goat and say, "From today, every customer that enters this market will find their way here. Whether they want to buy or not, they must come here first and buy something." The woman said. Zainab stood there, frozen. She could not believe what her two eyes were seeing. Eh? So this is what these people are doing in this market, ritual on top of selling. Jesus, Zainab said, looking shocked. Then just as she walked further, she saw another woman that was praying and speaking in tongues, kabashing loudly. To the extent that the woman was drenched in sweat. It looked as if she had been praying for at least 2 hours. Hey. When Zainab finally got to her shop, Omo, she was shocked. She just sat down and stared at her own entrance. No goats, no incense, no chants, no prayer, just her and her gospel music. Hey, she was in total shock. She now understood why she was not making any sales. Hey, so all this while, I will do my 5 minutes prayer and leave the house and come and sit down here and be playing gospel music. Yet I'll be complaining that I'm not making sales. Omo, how will I make sales? Am I making half of the sacrifices that these people are making? Hey. Now I understand what Shade meant when she was telling me that the market was not ordinary. I was thinking she was just trying to discourage me. She not wanting to be as rich as her. Eh? Wonders shall never end. Zainab said aloud to herself. So she decided that she was going to fight back and become more prayerful. So Zainab began to wake up at midnight to pray. She did it just for a few weeks and then began to see changes. People started coming into her shop to buy from her. Zainab was so happy. Every single night, she intensified her prayers, thanking God for the customers that came in and asking God for more. And the more she prayed, the more customers continued to flock into her shop to buy from her. Zainab was so happy. It was working, oh. But just as she became successful, other traders began to notice it and became very jealous of her. So one morning, as she was arranging her shop and preparing for the day's sales, one of her neighbors walked past her shop and then stopped to glance at her goods and said, "You this small girl, you had better be careful. Market na competition, oh. Me, I know they share my customer. We know they share customer for here." The woman said coldly. Zainab was stunned, but she did not answer. She just simply nodded and continued with her work. But by the next week, the hostility increased. Another trader who sold similar electronics just like her walked up to her and said, "Zainab, you better don't let this your success blind you. We have been here longer than you. You cannot just come and start taking our customers. Respect is earned." The man said coldly to her, "Hey." At this point, Zainab was scared. "I'm not here for trouble, oh. It's just my business that I want to do in peace," Zainab said. But one fateful morning, Zainab arrived very early to her shop. She was excited, thinking that today would be another great day of sales. But just as she stepped in front of her shop, she felt a sharp sting under her foot. She looked down and saw nothing. At first, she thought it was just stone or some sharp object. But by the time she opened her shop and entered inside, she began to feel very sick. She was having high fever. She did not know where this fever suddenly came from. When she left her home, she was okay. She was fine. And what is happening to me? What is this? Zainab thought aloud in confusion. But as the day went on, she was feeling worse. Omo, she had to carry herself to the nearest clinic. The doctor ran all sorts of tests, but could not tell the reason for this sudden fever. All the tests came back negative. Then he stared at her and said, maybe it's something spiritual. I cannot see the cause for your sickness. The doctor said, spiritual care. Zainab replied, looking very afraid. She went back home and continued to take the drugs that the doctor had given her, but she was not getting any better. Then at that point, Zainab remembered all the threats that she had been receiving for the past 2 weeks because of her sudden success at the market. Zainab was afraid. That night, when she laid on her bed, she decided that she was done. Oh, she was done with the market. She was tired of being a businesswoman. She did not want to die over ordinary shop. So the next morning, Zainab went straight to the shop and sold off all her goods at cost price. In short, some she sold below cost price to other traders around her. She wasn't going to stay in a market where such dangerous things would happen to her. That was how she sold everything and closed down her business that day. As she walked away from the market, she was scared of dying. She had come to Alaba market in peace and now she was living with sickness. She was not ready to lose her life, so she ran away before they would kill her. So a few days later, Zainab met up with Shade at her house. Zainab told her about all that had happened to her. Shade, I would have listened to you. I started a business at Alaba market. I thought I could make it work, but it has been a disaster. The market is not what I expected. I thought I knew better. I thought I could do it just like you did. I thought I could succeed without all the struggles and all the spiritual things you talked about. But I was just deceiving myself, Zainab said. Then Shade stared at her and said, Chibi, I told you. I tried to warn you now. Alaba market is not just a place for business, it's a battle. I actually knew that you opened the shop, but since you did not tell me, I decided not to raise it up with you. There is more than just customers and sales in Alaba market. That place is a spiritual warfare. And it's not something you can fight without the right protection. Shade replied. Then Zainab stared at her and said, Omo, as I saw you with your flashy car, your big shop, your trips to Dubai, to Atlanta and the rest, I wanted it sooner. Is it bad? I thought that if I could just set up my shop like you, maybe I'll be successful too. But I did not realize that there was more than that though. I didn't know that this market, it passed me, it big past me. It's full of tricks and traps, Zainab said sadly. So Zainab spent all the money that she got from the sale of her goods in her shop, treating her sickness. The sickness lingered for a few months before she finally got better. And when she got better, Zainab just simply respected herself and started looking for a white-collar job. And a few weeks after that, she got a job as a receptionist. She was contented and did it happily. Anytime she saw a successful business person come to her office, she no longer envied the person because she knew that they must be paying a huge sacrifice to be successful. So as she remained contented, she continued to pray and trust God to bless her and open more doors for her in her career. And a few months just after that, Zainab got a job at an oil and gas firm where they were paying her 5 million naira monthly. Zainab was so happy. She had learned a valuable life lesson, not to compare one's journey with another, and not to envy another person for their wealth, not knowing the sacrifices that they have to pay to sustain that wealth. Hi besties, it's your favorite storyteller, Omalicha. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts as usual. So what do you think? If you were Zainab, would you have allowed your co-traders pursue you out of the market using fetish things? Or would you have stood your ground and prayed, as in go spiritual to the core? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And secondly, as a customer, if you one day realize or find out that your favorite vendor that you buy things from in the market uses juju to make you buy from her, would you continue to buy from that person or would you run for your life? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section, and please support your home girl, Omalicha, by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories, bye!